What's up, everybody? Ben here. I've got some goodies for the Pro R. These are the first mods that I'm doing myself since I bought the car. Got this shock therapy front lower forks and shock therapy spring retainers. All right, so wow, this is way more difficult than I expected. Got the Pro R up here, and all I wanted to do was replace these lower shock forks. Shock Therapy has a nice YouTube video, and it looked super simple, and I'm like 6 hours into this, and I got the first one done. But I didn't have the right tools in the first place, and blah, blah, blah. So here I am. Got one done. And I thought it was a good opportunity to show you the products side by side. So all I've purchased is the lower shock forks and the split retainer ring. Here's the two. Here's the two. So here's the shock forks, $300. Here's the retainer rings, $150. And after looking on their website, I found out that these are honestly not real necessary. They do the same thing that the fork does, and because of that, they actually offer two different versions of this. So make sure if you do buy the retainers that you get the right ones, because they make these rings, the retainers, that work on the factory forks. So you're just replacing that piece, and those help to strengthen this joint, which is what the whole point of all of this is. So anyways, starting from the top, working on a Pro R is like working on a truck. Everything's big, everything's heavy, all the bolts, all the fasteners. This is just the front shocks, and they're I think the biggest shocks I've ever messed with. It's funny because like working on UTVs so far has always kind of felt like just working on a oversized four-wheeler, but now these things are, I mean, they're just beasts. Everything's big. So couple of tips. First of all, go to Shock Therapy's YouTube video. They have pretty thorough videos about these things. However, they make it look way easier than it is. Getting the shock out is hard. You have to unbolt your upper and lower shocks. Of course, disconnect the shocks if you have a live valve, and also undo your front sway bar, and mostly just to get it out of the way. And then after you undo all that, jack the car up even more, because with the shocks disconnected, the A-arms will droop quite a bit further and give you another inch or two until they bottom out on the steel. Then you have to kind of finagle the shocks out. It's a booger, but go to Shock Therapy's YouTube video. They'll show you the angle. You basically drop it, and then you kind of lean it back and then pull it out this way. So do that. The next battle is getting the springs off. You must have a shock compressor. If you don't have a shock compressor, don't even try this. They're huge springs. Everything's big. My shock compressor is too small, so I have to put a ratchet strap just to put the clamp on. And I put a old shirt on there so it doesn't scratch it all up. Then you need a vise that is stable, because you have to put some serious torque on this stuff. But don't even start the project until you have shock shaft clamps. So I'm borrowing these from my buddy Alan in Winoka by Little Sahara, Oklahoma. And Shock Therapy makes clamps, but they're on pre-order. They're not even available yet, whenever the last time I checked. So you have to use those to clamp the shaft to keep it from spinning while you twist off the factory fork, and then while you twist on the factory fork. Remember, you make sure you replace the bump stop as well. They give you a shorter bump stop. Don't forget to put that on. You have to heat it up with a torch. You have to clean up the threads, get all the Loctite off. Then you have to heat up the fork again. Heat up this fork before you put it on, because something I ran into is this hole. You see the threads are way down in there. So this hole has a very, very low tolerance. it's extremely tight onto the shaft. So it was hard for me just to slip this over the shaft because it's extremely tight. And then I started spinning it, and I couldn't tell if I was threading or not because it was so much resistance just being in that hole. So you heat this up quite a bit, and it expands that hole, you know, 1/1000th of an inch or something like that, just enough to maybe kind of slide it over. And you got to do all that before your red Loctite hardens. So anyways, it's a lot of work. I think it looks sexy, but I'm a sucker for billet parts. I kind of wish I would have got the springs while I have it here. And honestly, I wish I would have just sent Shock Therapy my shocks, because this is just hard. And it bothers me because if I mess up that shaft, or if I mess up something or strip those threads, like, you can't get these shocks right now. They're on back order. You can't replace that shaft right now. The parts aren't available. You know, like, you're stranded for a little while. So I really have a hard time trusting myself doing the second one, but I thought it was a good opportunity to show up these parts. So I'm going to dive in, and hopefully it doesn't take me 6 hours to do the other one. Good luck, and I'll show you the finished product. Hopefully I actually get it done tonight. And there we go. I love the way they look. And I guess they solve a problem. I don't know. I hadn't had the problem, but if you cram your front end in a hole, there was potential for those shafts breaking. But I'm just a sucker for billet aluminum. So here I am buying billet aluminum parts and putting them on. Honestly, I recommend you just send your shocks to Shock Therapy and get the valving, get the springs, all that. These are just stock shocks with billet lower forks now, but it's cool. It's fun. It's fun because I got through it, but I'll tell you, there for a minute I was having lots of doubts. This is the first actual mod I've done to this car myself. If you've watched the series or any of my blog or anything, you've seen I bought this car the way it is from ABF. It was a build from them. And then so next I'm gonna get some meat on these things. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.